What is metals? Metals are hard, shiny, ductility, good conductors, and heavily reactive. It's called metals. And some metals are solids at room temperature. Metals occupy very large area in a periodic table. We have discussed a lot about periodic tables, and in periodic table, where what are the metals we have? Alkyl metal, alkene earth metal, transition metal, and p block metals. These are the metals in the periodic table. And what about non-metals? Non-metal is an element that do not have a characteristics like hardness, shyness, and ductility. What do you mean by non-metals? Which do not have the properties of metal is called non-metals. Okay. And what are the non-metals in our periodic table? It consists all the non-metals are arranged only in our p block. What are they? Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and halogens, and inert gases. These are the non-metals, and non-metal do not have properties of metal. Okay, where these non-metals are occupied? P block, only in the p block. And what is metalloids? What are metalloids? So elements which have both metal properties and non-metal properties will said to be a metalloids. Okay, element which exhibits metal properties and non-metal properties is called metalloids. Some of the example are boron. Okay, boron exhibit metal property and non-metal properties. And I have given you the examples of metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Okay, and if you see, next is alloy. What is this alloy? Is a mixture of two or more metals and formed by mixing of molten metals thoroughly. Okay, forming. So how alloys are formed? Mixing of two or more metals. And rarely non-metals are also mixed with metals to produce alloys, but major is what? To mix metals, two or more metals mixes to form a alloy. And in general, found that alloying produces a metallic substance that has more useful properties than original pure metal from which made. So if you compare metal and alloys, alloy will be more pure than the metal. Though it is formed by metals, alloys will have more metallic properties than pure metals. For example of alloy is brass, copper. So brass is made from copper and zinc. So copper is a metal, zinc is also metal. If you combine to this, what's a form of alloy is brass. Okay, and what are the uses and advantages of this alloy? Where do we use, and what is this main advantage? It is harder, stronger than pure metals. So it is harder and stronger than the pure metals, less conduction than pure metals. Okay, and some alloys have lower melting point than pure metals. See, though it is formed from pure metal, it is better than the pure metals. All the properties which exhibited by pure metal will be comparatively low than which one? Alloys. Okay, comparing metal and alloy is best in its hardness, strongness. Its melting point is also low than pure metals, and metal is alloyed with mercury. It is called amalgam. Okay, and some of the examples: gold is mixed with the copper, so it is harder than the pure gold. And copper is a good conductor of heat and electricity, where brass and bronze are not good conductors. Okay, so brass it's not a good conductor, but copper is a good conductor. Okay, so in this lesson we have discussed about how many periodic tables from the early period, what are the periodic tables it was given, and we know the modern periodic table, and we know that what are the blocks inside the periodic table and which element occupies which block, and we have seen the advantages of the periodic table.